Behind me is a 2022 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon, so we're going to go over some of the features as if you were actually looking to purchase one of these or have it as a daily driver. We'll take it for a little spin, try and park it in a few different places, maybe have a little bit of fun, and go over all of the different options that it has. Since we are taking a look at the Rubicon model today, it does have those 33-inch tires stock from the factory, which look absolutely aggressive and awesome. You probably can stuff, I think, a 35 under here without doing any kind of modification. You do get the nice Fox shocks under there for even better ride comfort. You can really take this thing off-road and have a lot of capability. We'll get into that in just a second, but I do want to go ahead and pop the hood, which popping the hood on these is a very interesting thing on all the different Jeeps. You gotta just pop this little baby off. It's a little bit strange to me, but it's kind of cool, you know. It gives it that rugged look. Now once you get that hood open, you're gonna go ahead and see that nice 3.6 liter V6 engine, which I did have in a Jeep Grand Cherokee, and it was a fantastic engine. I think this Pentastar engine is a great engine, and it has a lot of reliability. Some people obviously complain about everything, but the good engine, good strong V6 if you do want it. Since this one does have the trailer hitch, it does have a little bit of upgraded goodies since it has that towing package, but you guys can see nothing crazy, nothing special. It does look just like a standard engine would. Very basic, as it is a truck and it's also a Jeep. Now I have seen people swap out the intake on these for a little bit more of a throaty sound on the Jeep. Personally, I don't think it's too great, but you can go ahead and do that. That is one of the mods that people do. But overall, very basic engine, 3.6 liter V6. Good enough power, probably around 300 horsepower or so. Good enough to get you going. And we can go ahead and take a look at the exhaust sound here in just a second. It doesn't have too much sound, but let's go ahead and grab it from the front first. You guys can hear how quiet this Jeep is. It doesn't have much sound at all. Most of the sound seems to come from right around this area, which is a little bit interesting to me. But let's do the same thing from the back, and you guys can hear there's not much sound to it at all. So let's get that little sound clip here in the back and come out the exhaust, which is kind of tucked away up there. You guys can kind of see it. Let's go ahead and listen to her. Not much to it. Sounds like a very standard V6 there, which is awesome because, like I said, this is just a daily driver truck, right? So you're gonna get decent gas mileage with it. I'd assume somewhere between 15 and 20. I'm not sure exactly what it says on the window sticker. I can take a look at that for you, but you're getting a Jeep with this. You're gonna get your nice rugged doors that are gonna be very, you know, rugged. You can take them off easily, just like with the other one. Hardtop here, which also comes off very similar to a Jeep Wrangler. The only addition is you have the nice bed. I believe this is a 5.5 foot bed, possibly. Yeah, I believe it's a 5.5 foot bed, which is cool, and it's nice and convenient. This has got some sort of soft drop to it, at least a little bit. Spray and bed liner option on this one, which is a nice option to have. There's also they have a little bed rug in here, but you guys can see it looks really good, and you can put a nice little Mopar tonneau cover on the top and secure your stuff. It's a really nice sound there when you close it up. And with the Rubicon, you do get the nice red accents around all the lettering, red tow hooks, and I'm not sure if it's only with this color, but I assume it's with all the colors. But you also get the Jeep lettering here and the trail rated badge on the other side, plus the Rubicon. Obviously, again, in the front, more red tow hooks because, you know, it's meant to be used, and of course, like I said, trail rated. Now the great thing about this is you do get 4 doors. It's very similar to the Jeep Wrangler. It's almost just like an elongated version that gives you the additional bed space. But we can go ahead and jump inside here and take a quick look. Nice leather wrap steering wheel with the red accent stitching, which the nice thing about that is it continues all throughout. That is a Rubicon only option, I believe, and then other ones will just be standard, but it continues all throughout the interior. So you've got it here on the seat latch, you've got it all around there, you've got this nice red trim, and then that continues onto the steering wheel here, which has the nice stitching, like I said, as well. Nice leather wrap steering wheel, feels really good. This almost feels luxury to an extent in a Jeep. It's kind of funny. And then of course it continues all throughout, and you have your dual little shifters down here, which for me, I think it's pretty cool and pretty interesting that you have your 2 little shifters here. So this one's obviously just your standard drive mode selector. You've got your Prindle, if you will, right here. Then you just have your 2 high, 4 high, neutral, and 4 low options here to change from 4-wheel drive settings. Down here you have your diff lock options, as well as your sway bar front and rear disconnects, and your sway bar button, your off-road plus button. I'm not sure exactly what that does, but I'm sure it has some pretty cool features. You got a little outlet, another little media outlet, which is just a USB-C, regular USB, and an aux. Pretty cool. And then here you have your windows up and down, and then this, I believe, is your locking. So it's kind of funny that you actually have like a mechanical kind of switch rather than just a button to press to lock them. So that's your window locks, and then of course your windows go up and down with your center console, which means on the door you really don't get much. It's very, very basic because it's a Jeep after all. This one does have automatic mirrors, which is a really, really cool feature, obviously, since the door does come off, but it does have automatic features as well as automatic locks on the door. Door handle is pretty good quality, and overall it feels really good. A little bit of storage down bottom from this net, but nothing too crazy. And then over here you have your lights. This one does have a trim ring. It does not come like this. This is a little trim ring accent, and then your other lighting options, so you can obviously pop that baby in auto and be good to go. Up here we've got some vents, which are just pretty interesting the way that they move, because they just kind of spin on this axis to close and open them. So your adjustment is literally up to you, and you can also spin them this way to see which way you wanted to have them coming at you. Now, like I said, the steering wheel is good. This one does have cruise control settings over here, a little OK button, and you can answer your phone, which is up here on this, which is a little bit interesting to have it on the little visor, in my opinion. I mean, obviously you can't put it up here on top of the hard top. So yeah, at the end of the day, you're in a Jeep. It's gonna feel like a Jeep. It's gonna sound like a Jeep, drive like a Jeep, ride like a Jeep. So yeah, just be aware and expect that. Even though it is the Gladiator. Nice thing is it does have a push start button. We're all the way past the keys now. And then up here on the dash, you have a nice digital dash in the center and a little tachometer and a speedometer there. 8.4-inch Uconnect system. Obviously lots and lots of options. I do have another video on the hidden features of this, and I go into the little features of this a little bit more. And then of course you have your standard options over here. It does come equipped with start stop, which that is something that I recommend disconnecting because it is super annoying and I hate it. You can actually hold that down and disable ESC completely and kind of make it a little bit better. Heated wheel, heated seats, all that good stuff. And again, it's pretty basic because it is a Jeep at the end of the day. Popping into the glove box, I'm not going to open it because it is pretty stored up, but it is pretty deep and it does give you a decent amount of storage, so it's really not too bad. Now for the back seat, I'm sure a lot of people are curious how the space is on these Jeep Gladiators. I feel like there's plenty of space. You got a nice grab handle to jump on in. And I'm 6 feet and I could probably somewhat comfortably sit in here. I don't think it would be too bad for a decent amount of time. It's, you know, the legroom's not crazy, but it's really not that bad for being a little Jeep Gladiator. Obviously it's not a full size like a TRX or something like that that's gonna have a ton of room. One thing I do notice is like the doorway is almost a little tight to get out of. But other than that, it feels pretty good, and you could definitely put a child's car seat back there. Yeah, I don't think there's any flip downs or anything crazy for the back passenger, so you don't get anything super nice. Of course, you got your gas cap, little press to open that, and then you can go ahead and take it out. You guys didn't know there is a little hook right here to hang the gas cap on. No one ever knows that. I don't know why. It's on every single car. Back, you got the nice taillights, which look pretty cool. Again, the Jeep right in the middle, another third brake light there. And then of course down bottom, this one does have the towing option as well as obviously the red tow hooks from the factory. I had mentioned this briefly before, but they are just about 33-inch tires and they are on 17s. This is from the factory. These are the OEM option for the Jeep. Like I said, Fox shocks down there. And we'll see how those sound when we take it for a ride here in a second, but I think it's gonna be pretty good. Now let's go through some of the features that we have here on the dash. You can go ahead and go into your apps. There's gonna be a ton of different settings. You can actually look out the backup camera. Now backup camera wise, guys, I'm telling you, the backup camera on these Jeeps is fantastic. I think it looks really, really good. It looks, it's way clearer than the one on my 2018 SRT, I will tell you that. You can even zoom in and magnify right onto the trailer hitch so that you can go ahead and load up your trailer, which is really, really cool and a nice feature. You've got your off-road pages here, which take a while to load up, but once they do load up, they're very, very helpful for you if you're getting into driving your Jeep off-road. It's going to show you your steering angle. So as I turn the wheel here, you'll see that steering angle change, and you can actually see the tires on there. You can see the sway bars are currently connected. The steering angle, you got your transfer cases that you're in too high, so that's this little guy down here. You got your accessory gauges, which will allow you to see your coolant temp, your oil temp, your battery voltage, all that good stuff. And then you have your pitch and roll, which is really, really cool. Maybe we'll take it up on this little hill here in a second and see if we can get that to change a little bit and show how this how the suspension flexes really well from the factory. Now, like I said, you can control your heated seats there. You can add a Wi-Fi hotspot, of course. Mirror dimmer, you've got your navigation. You've got a ton of different options. Audio settings, so you can go ahead and make it sound differently. All kinds of great stuff, and a definite awesome option. If you have the smaller screen in any of your vehicles, you're gonna definitely want to get that 8.4-inch Uconnect. I definitely recommend it. Now, as I said here before, this is the start stop button, so you press that and it disables the start stop. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what that's like for a second because I want you to experience that with me. It is awful. I do not enjoy the stop start system. I think most people don't. So if we just get going here and get moving, pop it into drive there. Let's see if it does it here. You're just driving along. Make sure it's on, obviously, because I don't know if it's on yet, but we'll just get going here. And if we go ahead and stop, see if we can hear it shut off. Yep, so it shut off, and then you guys can see there the little light engaged on the dash, and then we go ahead and let off the brakes and it starts back up. Awful, awful, awful system. It's not very good for your engine, and it's not very good at all. So as you guys can see though, as I'm going ahead and driving here, this is like so buttery smooth to navigate. It steers so well. Takes these little bumps like it's nothing, and it's very easy to drive. You guys can see there, vehicle shut off. Feels like we just stalled out. If you guys have ever been in a vehicle back in the day that stalls out, you guys are gonna know exactly what that feels like, and you're gonna hate it. So that's why we turned this little baby off. Look, as soon as I press that, it starts right back up. So you guys can see our pitch and our roll. It's not really much at all, but yeah, there's just a little bump and a little hill, and it's nothing. It's like, it's really nothing. Now, like I said, the V6, it gets up and goes. It has some really, really good power to it. We'll hit this little strip here in just a second and give her a little bit. So let's see how she feels here. It's pretty good. It has some get up and go. It's really not too bad at all. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can't do a little 3-point turn here in this little intersection. How it's gonna handle faring with this turn, which it seems perfectly fine. This is a very, very easy truck to drive. It is very, very enjoyable, and I do not mind it at all. Back it up, you guys can see that backup camera looks absolutely beautiful, but it rides really well. And if we wanted to park this thing, I'll show you guys how it parks, because that's definitely one of those questions that I always have, is especially with a truck, how is the parking? Does it park nicely? Is it easy to park? How is the turning radius on it? So let's go ahead and get some little turning radius shots here and show you guys that as if we were gonna park. Now let's say we were coming in here, which obviously is kind of a swooping angle, and we were trying to hit one of these parking spots over to the right. I mean, this thing is just swooping right in there. The steering on this thing is accurate and buttery smooth, which is, it's really cool. Now let's try and back it up, use our backup camera, see if we can hit one of these spots really quickly without going too crazy. Pretty much back right in. And like I said, this backup camera makes it super, super easy, and we go right up the hill and we are parked nicely. So what do you guys think about the Jeep Gladiator? Are you gonna get one? Are you interested in getting one after seeing this video? And if you are, go ahead and check out this video to see all of the hidden features on the Jeep Gladiator.